So,
Okay.
welcome everyone. It is 11 Atlantic time. It is 4 p.m. in Germany. It is 9 a.m. in Texas. Hi, Natalie. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. There is going to probably a few people that are going to join, but they're going to be able to just join here. I'm so excited to do this. My name is Jemima. This gentleman is Fernando from Kraftwunder. And to give you a little bit the heads up, this live podcast is going to be German English because Fernando knows best all this scientific electrophysiology stuff to explain in German, and then I have to translate all of that into English. God be with me, but I'm hopeful here. I said before I started the recording button, I said, guys, have mercy with me. It's probably not be 100% perfect, but the people who worked with me, they know I'm German. My husband corrects me every day 10,000 times in our marriage because we speak English to each other, and the German comes through. So anyhow, so this is what we're going to do. We tried to test captions and all that stuff. Didn't work, so we're going to just play it like this. Another note, if you have questions and they just pop in, put them in the chat box. We're going to do a Q&A in the end of this live podcast where we're going to go through all the questions that you have. And also, there's going to be a big opportunity that we're going to talk about also at the end. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. There's a big reveal kind of in the end of this. So therefore, stay with us. Stay on the call. If you get busy, you can put the camera off or whatsoever, but stay with us, okay? There's going to be a lot of valuable information. That is all what I have to say from my side. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Fernando, for taking the time today. I know this is not normally where you feel comfortable. You really have to get out of your comfort zone. But you do that because you want to provide value for people out there who are fanatic and enthusiastic like me about EMS. And so first of all, thank you so much for doing this and for being here today. And so welcome everyone, Fernando. Und Fernando, danke, dass du heute hier bist. Ich habe es gerade schon gesagt, ich glaube, du hast es auch verstanden. Wir freuen uns super, dass wir das heute machen können. Und meine allererste Frage wäre, gib uns doch vielleicht so eine ganz kurze Einleitung, wie du zu dem Thema EMA gekommen bist und wo du bist, wo du heute quasi stehst, für wen du arbeitest und was du quasi heute machst.
Okay, also unsere Firma heißt Nowbody GmbH und Co. KG. Und wir produzieren die Linie Kraftwunder. Also Kraftwunder sind EMS und EMA-Anzüge, quasi beide Technologien. Ja. Ich komme zu EMS direkt in Deutschland. Also ich hatte ja auch früher durch die Physiotherapie Erfahrung mit Electro-muscle-stimulation, meistens aus Rehabilitationsgründen, bei Sportlern vor allem. Und genau, und dann kam ich hier in Deutschland zu den klassischen Ganzkörper-EMS-Training, habe ich hier dann kennengelernt und durfte durch meine Tätigkeit als Trainer und als Therapeut mehrere EMS-Systeme dann kennenlernen. Ja, und in groben Zügen so kam ich dann zu EMS direkt, also so Ganzkörper-EMS-Systeme. Ja?
Okay, I'm going to just translate quick. So, hi everyone, my name is Fernando. I'm currently working for the company Nowbody, and Nowbody in Germany has a department that's called Kraftwunder. Kraftwunder is a manufacturer that does EMS and EMA suits. My personal background is I'm a physiotherapist and I'm also like a personal trainer. And especially through my work in rehabilitation and physiotherapy, specifically working with athletes, I came to get to know whole body electromuscle-stimulation.
Genau. Bei der Firma dann Nowbody haben wir angefangen zu entwickeln Also grundsätzlich sind wir eine Entwicklungsfirma, der sich jetzt in den Vertrieb nach und nach dann versucht. Ne? Aber grundsätzlich sind wir eine Entwicklungsfirma. Wir wollten ein System auf die Beine bringen, der ein bisschen anderes ist als alles, was wir auf dem Markt in diesem Moment kannten. Ja? Ja.
I need to stop him.
Sorry.
No. So just for the background, so nobody is actually in the field of development. Development and the goal and the aim of the company is to do the research, but also create something that hasn't been done yet in the field of electromuscle stimulation.
Genau. Und so haben wir uns in dem Bereich EMA getestet. Also EMA nennen wir das Next Level EMS. Das ist Elektromyostimulation auf Basis von Mittelfrequenzen. Ja? Und alles, also es gibt sehr wenig auf dem Markt, was mit diesen Frequenzen arbeitet. Und die meisten waren zu diesem Zeitpunkt ganz große Kisten mit Kabel, die man an einen Anzug verbinden konnte. Also,
So within this research, we realized that there's a lot of people, like a lot of manufacturers that provide electromuscle stimulation, classical as we know it today, with low frequency. But we went into the market of EMA, electromuscle activation, where we work with middle frequency, because we realized that's a market that hasn't been yet developed enough. So you can imagine the first kind of prototypes of electromuscle activation has been like huge battery packs, very like not really developed to the function that it's possible today.
Genau. Also war unsere Aufgabe, diese Systeme, oder haben wir uns zur Aufgabe gemacht, diese Systeme, diese EMA-Systeme so klein zu konzipieren, dass sie auch an einen Anzug direkt ohne Kabel angeschlossen werden kann oder konnte und ja, und es dann zugänglicher für den Fitnessmarkt, für den Sporttherapiemarkt, für Leistungssportler im Grunde, also ein Tick zugänglicher dann so machen, einen Tick einfacher zu gestalten und weniger kompliziert.
So with that, we realized that what our approach was and like what our purpose is as Kraftwunder is to make EMA being constipated in a way that athletes, the market itself, the fitness market, everyone has access to EMA, because that wasn't quite possible before because of the huge units you needed to have in order to do middle frequency. So that is our main purpose, that we wanted to give access to the market, access to everyone, and to technically be able to provide that in form of way, way smaller battery packs.
Genau. Ja, das ist uns, denke ich, richtig gut gelungen. Wir haben dann einen EMS-Anzug auf die Beine gestellt mit diesen Systemen, also mit einer kleinen Batterie und einer kleinen Steuereinheit, also oder Box, ne, wie man die so nennt, die in der Lage waren, Mittelfrequenz stabil also zu erreichen und zu halten im Grunde. Zusätzlich dazu fanden wir, dass die Apps auf dem Markt so relativ kompliziert waren. Also die Apps, die reine Steuerungs-Apps oder Geräte waren ein Tick zu kompliziert. Man musste 1 Million verschiedene Anmeldungen machen, bis man sich wirklich in so eine App anmelden konnte. Ja. Oder man hatte Konsolen, also so große Konsolen mit Knöpfen, was nicht so unbedingt zeitgemäß ist. Ja. Also haben wir eine App auf die Beine gestellt, die wirklich jede aus dem App Store oder aus dem Android-Markt runterladen kann und sofort nutzen.
We also realized that the market really didn't had easy function apps, that it's very easy to use, like the battery pack, right? So that was like our next like purpose and our next mission, that we wanted to develop like not only the suit and the battery pack that is small, easy to handle, but also the app itself, the application. So our application is super easy. We have an Android version, but we also have like an for Apple, like the normal app, and it's super easy to use. So that was iOS. Sorry, thank God for my husband here. So Android and iOS. So we wanted to make sure that we could deliver it to both applications, and the goal was to have a super easy functioning application in order to do EMA.
Ja, genau, als wir das alles dann hatten, haben wir gesagt, okay, wenn wir schon sowieso ein EMA-System dann, der so kompliziert ist, auf die Beine gestellt haben, dann können wir auch ein klassisches Niederfrequenzensystem auch in kleinem Format auf den Markt bringen. Und so kam unsere Kraftwunder Classic im Grunde. Das ist nicht anderes als so wie alle aufgebaute niederfrequenten Systeme, die es auf dem Markt gibt. Kabellos, ganz klein an den Anzug, der aber auch mit der gleichen App gesteuert werden kann. Das heißt, wir haben im Grunde eine App, die alle unsere Systeme dann steuert, und man kann ganz leicht hin und her switchen zwischen den Systemen.
Okay, so once we really overcame the huge challenge of like developing an EMA suite with the application, with the battery pack that is like easy and very light in weight and all that, we were like, you know what, we mastered like the most difficult part of providing middle frequency in such an easy way. Now we can as well do electromuscle stimulation. So we do have both. We do have EMA suits and we do have EMS suits. Fernando, I have a question. I'm going to translate it to you as well in German, but let me ask you first a question. So a lot of people, I know that they are here today because they know already everything about electromuscle stimulation. They know everything about low frequency. But what they still don't really understand is what is EMA. So can you explain us what actually is the difference? What is the difference between low frequency and middle frequency? What is the difference between EMS and EMA? I think you understood me, right? So let's go.
Ja, klar. Ja, klar. Ja, also ganz technisch gesehen ist die Niederfrequenz eingeschränkt zwischen 1 und 1000 Hertz, während der Mittelfrequenz bei 1000 Hertz anfängt und bei 100.000 Hertz aufhört. Das heißt, wir sprechen hier über deutlich höhere Frequenzen im Bereich EMA. Also technisch gesehen ist das die Differenz.
Okay, so from a technical point of view, when you do low frequency electromuscle stimulation, you work with the frequency between 1 and 1000 hertz. With middle frequency, we work between 1000 hertz and 100,000 hertz. So this is like the main difference. So you work with a really way more bigger number in terms of frequency.
Okay, was bedeutet das für den Anwender? Also für den Anwender bedeutet es, je höher die Frequenz und so kleiner der galvanische Widerstand der Haut, sich gegen den Strom von außen zu wehren. Ja, jetzt habe ich dir, glaube ich, dann ganz schwer gemacht dann. Ne? Das heißt aber, für den Anwender, für den Benutzer bedeutet das, dass der Strom sich deutlich angenehmer anfühlt als bei der klassischen Niederfrequenz.
Okay, so what does it mean now for you as a user or for you as a provider? What does it mean working in like such high numbers of frequencies? So first of all, the resistance from like, you know, like from an electrophysiology point of view, I just have to go a little deeper here. You know that the current has to flow through like different levels, right? Levels of resistance. And we know that the first level of resistance is the cutis, or called skin, literally. And so there is already like a difference when you work with higher frequencies like that. So we claim with electromuscle activation that it feels way more comfortable, like more
Angenehmer,
yeah.
nicht so pixelig, sage ich
Yes.
das. Also jetzt nicht so picken auf der Haut.
Yes. So EMA actually has like the first benefit because it doesn't feel so poking or, you know, twitching. I think twitching is the correct word. It doesn't feel so twitching. It feels way more comfortable. That's what the perceived feedback is of electromuscle activation.
Genau. Abgesehen davon hat die Mittelfrequenz eine tiefere Wirkung und eine Volumenwirkung, eine größere Volumenwirkung als die Niederfrequenz. Was bedeutet denn das? Also wir können mit der Mittelfrequenz eine Signalreinheit in die Tiefe des Körpers reinbringen, in die Tiefe der Muskulatur. Es ist nicht so oberflächlich wie bei der Niederfrequenz. Und mit Volumenwirkung meinen wir, dass wir auch andere Gewebsstrukturen oder dass die Mittelfrequenz andere Gewebsstrukturen auch mit beeinflussen können, auch positiv beeinflussen können, sei es zum Beispiel Bindegewebs und so weiter.
Wow, guys. This now what I'm translating is a game changer. Listen to this.
Sorry.
No, this is like, I'm so excited about this, guys.
Okay.
Because I'm, as you know, like an EMS coach too. And this is just so freaking exciting. So we're claiming, here's the claim. We're claiming that with electromuscle activation, we not only have a more comfortable approach because of the high frequency, but we're claiming to go deeper. And we're claiming that we generate more volume within the muscle tissue. And we're also, because of the frequency, the clearness of the signal. I don't know if that works. Like, husband, please help me here. But because of this, we are clarity. Thank you. Isn't he amazing? Can you give a thank you, God, for my husband here. So it has a more clarity to the signal itself. So we're claiming deeper, we're going deeper, and we're also getting more volume, which is the reason why we can claim way better hypertrophy effects than in electromuscle stimulation, because electromuscle stimulation is more on the surface, where middle frequency really goes into depth, and we're able to approach structures that are not really approachable with EMS, like, for example, the fascia.
Genau. Genau. Ein weiterer Vorteil der Mittelfrequenz, den hast du jetzt so ein kleines bisschen dann angerissen, sage ich es mal, ist, dass man die Impulse direkt, also die Muskelkontraktion direkt an dem Muskel auslösen kann und nicht über die Motoneuronen.
Okay.
Ja? Also der klassische Weg der Niederfrequenz kennst du ja, man steuert die Motoneuronen steuert dann die Muskulatur. Und hier können wir die Muskeln direkt an der Muskelzelle, an den Sarkolemen der Muskulatur aktivieren.
Okay, so back to electrophysiology, in electromuscle stimulation, what we are triggering is through like the kind of like current that comes from the external electrode is triggering the motor units in our body. And through the motor units and transmitters, the muscle gets, the information gets triggered to contract. But in electromuscle activation, the opportunity that we have here, or what's happening within EMA, is that the muscle cell is directly triggered to contract through the sarcomere and not the motor unit, like how it is classical in EMS.
Das heißt, man verträgt auch mehr Intensität und hat aber trotzdem keinen horrenden Muskelkater nach den Trainings, weil im Grunde, oder manche Experten führen das dazu, dass die Nerven so weit wie in Ruhe gelassen werden.
Kannst du noch mal kurz mir wiederholen, was du als erstes gesagt hattest?
Genau, also das heißt, dadurch, dass die Mittelfrequenz die Muskelkontraktionen direkt an der Muskulatur auslösen kann und wenn man davon ausgeht, dass die Nerven eigentlich die meisten Zeit in der Regeneration brauchen, ja, ist das System optimal, weil du damit auch genauso gut arbeiten kannst wie mit EMS, ja, hast aber eine im Grunde schnelle Regeneration und weniger Muskelkater.
Okay.
Ja?
So another huge benefit of electromuscle activation is that we are not creating such huge fatigueness, because the fatigueness comes from the nervous system that has been like used through the approach of the motor units. So there's a lot of fatigueness going on. But with the EMA, because we are triggering the muscle cell immediately through the sarcomere, that's why we can provide a way more intense workout where we get way more hypertrophy effects, where we can work more intense, and in the same time we're not feeling as fatigued as we do feel with electromuscle stimulation, because we're not tiring up our whole nerve system. I hope I explained it correctly and right, but that's the best way I can explain it. Guys, can you give me a thumbs up if you're still with me? Does everything make sense that we're saying? Yeah, okay, great, awesome. Let's go, Fernando.
Ja, das heißt, im Grunde, wenn man, also man liest den Begriff quasi physiologische Muskelwirkung in der Muskulatur. Das heißt, der Impuls ist kein Zwangsdiktat für die Motorneuronen, dass sie in einem bestimmten Tag arbeiten muss, sondern sie kann sich quasi aussuchen, ihren eigenen Tag, wenn man über die Motorneuronen arbeitet, kann aber auch direkt den Impuls an der Muskulatur auslösen.
Also es ist möglich beides.
Es ist möglich beides. Also man kann diese Mittelfrequenz-Impuls so modulieren, so formen, ja, dass man auch die Motorneuronen damit erreichen kann und somit ein ausgewogenes Training erreichen kann. Wenn ich sie mehr brauche für bestimmte Zwecke, zum Beispiel wie Maximaltraining, dann kann ich auch die Motorneuronen mit involvieren in den Training. Brauche ich aber im Grunde oder arbeite ich im Bereich Hypertrophie, dann brauche ich die Motorneuronen eigentlich weniger involvieren. So, und das ist eigentlich ein Spektrum, was wirklich nur die Mittelfrequenz erlaubt, im Gegenteil zu den Niederfrequenzen.
Okay, wow, that's amazing. So I'm trying to explain this. So the opportunity we have with that tool of EMA is that we can modulate the whole electromuscle activation. So we have the options to do actually both. We can trigger the motor units. We can trigger the muscles contraction over the motor units, but we also can trigger like directly the muscle itself, the muscle cell itself, and that is depending on the goal that we have. If, for example, you work in maximum strength, right? You want to, like, your goal is maximum strength, then it definitely makes sense to go directly to the muscle cell. But if you, for example, looking for like a goal, or your current goal with your client is hypertrophy effects, then you do not want to really involve the big motor units in the body, because it is kind of limiting the hypertrophy effects and it creates neuronal fatigueness.
Genau, genau, so ist es richtig. Ja, also das sind im Grunde also die ganz, ganz großen Unterschiede der Mittelfrequenz im Vergleich zu der Niederfrequenz. Also es gibt ja auch Studien aktuell auf dem Markt, die zum Beispiel die Behandlung des Beckenbodens, also so als tiefe Muskulatur, wirklich nur in Verbindung mit Mittelfrequenz aussehen. Also bei niederfrequenten Stimulationen musste man bestimmte diese tiefen Muskeln nur erreichen über Anal- oder Vaginalelektrode. Also man kann sich das vorstellen, der Schmerz, der Leiden musste wirklich so groß sein, dass man damit arbeitet. Und das kann man mit Mittelfrequenz anders behandeln, also durch die Tiefe der Impulse und durch durch Stimulationen, die man dann in den Programmen einbaut.
Okay, so for example, there's also like a wide range of studies, and one study, for example, let's talk about pelvic floor, that claims that it's actually very challenging to achieve like deep strengthening of the pelvic floor, and with classical electromuscle stimulation only be possible through like contracting literally anal and vaginal muscle tissue, which you can imagine would be very uncomfortable for the people to do. And in our classical suit, we're not getting there really. But the claim that we also do with EMA is that because of the high frequencies that we're using, we're able to receive and to achieve way better results in for example, pelvic floor. I actually have a question for this, but I'm gonna wait in line like everyone else in our Q&A questions, because I believe there's a lot of questions in the end, because I already start having questions. But okay, thank you. Anything else, Fernando, in terms of just the big, I know that there's a lot of like smaller details why EMA is called the next level EMS, but is there anything else where you say this is something that I really want to share, this is really important for everyone to understand as well?
Ich denke, das Thema ist dann wirklich extrem kompliziert und geht sehr weit in die Tiefe. Deswegen, also alles, was ich genannt habe, sind Details, wieso wir denken oder wieso, worauf wir uns stützen, um so ein System auf die Beine zu bringen und es zu bewerben. Ne? Im Grunde denke ich, ein System, was an dem Muskel arbeitet, ja, und direkt an dem Muskel die Kontraktionen auslösen kann nicht schlechter sein als ein System, was über die Motorneuronen an die Muskel reingeht. Also das erschließt sich mich als logischer im Grunde. Und das ist das, was wir in der Literatur so auch mehr oder weniger vorgefunden haben bis jetzt. Ja.
So to sum it up, like all the points that we have mentioned before is basically the main points why we put such an effort into developing EMA, and also now to marketing it more, educating more people about it, because from a logic standpoint, it has definitely more like benefits in triggering the muscle cell directly and not going over the motor units. But I mean, still you have the option anyways. So that's why for us it's logical that we're going the EMA road, and that we want to really promote it, provide more literature, educating more people, and definitely because of that wanted to grow the market, because we see there's so many benefits. Of course, it has to be said that there's so much depth to this, right? Specifically from an electrophysiology point of view, from a science point of view, medical point of view, there's so much depth, there's so many different topics. I mean, we just like talked very basic, about hypertrophy, maximum strength, pelvic floor. We just throw in like very basic information. Obviously, there's so much depth to it, and we want to like educate more about it. But this is just to give you the basic understanding why we are so keen about developing it and why we're so keen about growing the market.
Das heißt im Grunde, wenn ich zwei ähnliche Systeme habe, die auch ähnliche Effekte in dem Muskel verursachen, aber mit den einen kriege ich deutlich weniger Muskelkater und eine viel größere Regeneration und schone auch noch meine Nerven, ne? Dann kann ich automatisch sagen, das ist das bessere System.
Yes. So when I have two systems, but I can prove that with one system, I'm way less sore. I really less stress my whole nervous system. I have way better regeneration, recovery, and I achieve better results. Then it's just common sense that I'm going with the EMA system, and I do everything in my power to promote the EMA system.
Ja.
Okay. So let me look at the time. We have 11:30. I don't know how many questions gonna come up, but I would say we're doing the following. Let's give like people who are here the opportunity to ask questions, because you guys were like really grateful for your time showing up today. So the questions you have, put them in the chat box, and I'm going to translate them. I'm going to translate them for Fernando and read them. So if you have any questions. So I have, for example, I'm going to start with that one. Someone asked, does skeletal muscle only activate at low frequency? Also werden die Muskelfasern nur durch Low Frequency aktiviert and does other organs like the heart gets affected by such higher frequency? Also das ist ja so die klassische Frage. That's a classical question that we get also asked from our clients in EMS, in electromuscle stimulation, is always the fear about other muscle cells, like, you know, the involuntary heart cells, the involuntary organ cells, are they affected by high frequency such EMA?
Jetzt müsstest du es mir ganz kurz übersetzen. Ich habe es
Also
nicht ganz verstanden, sorry.
Die Frage, die gestellt worden ist, wir bekommen ja auch oft von Kundenseite die Frage gestellt, wie beeinflusst das andere Zellen, wie zum Beispiel die Organzellen und die Herzzellen? Und wenn wir mit so einer hohen Frequenz arbeiten, beeinflusst das die Zellen wie zum Beispiel im Herzen und in den Organen?
Nein, eigentlich nicht. Also wir gehen jetzt, also die Mittelfrequenz wird schon sowieso seit ewig in der Physiotherapie benutzt. Also es gibt ja mehrere Therapieformen, wie zum Beispiel den Interferenzstrom. Das ist nicht anderes als zwei mittelfrequente Wellen, die eine niederfrequente Signal tiefer in die Muskulatur einziehen lassen, weil weil man eigentlich diese Tiefe dann braucht in bestimmte Behandlungen. Das heißt, wir sprechen über Impulse, über Frequenzen, die schon ewig sowieso in der Physiotherapie benutzt werden.
Okay. So the answer is like absolutely not. I mean, like middle frequency is not something new here. Middle frequency has been used in therapy also like for ages. So it's not something to be concerned about. And they never contract or contract any of these cells. And they have been used, like I said, there's different middle frequencies. They have been used to achieve certain therapeutical results.
Das heißt, im Grunde, dass es also in der Literatur sogar zu finden ist, dass die Mittelfrequenz deutlich weniger unser vegetative Nervensystem angreift als die Niederfrequenz im Grunde. Ja? Das ist auch das, was man in der einen oder anderen Quelle dann so finden kann. Im Grunde so. Und wir haben aber auch schon von Anfang an beschrieben, dass die unser Nervensystem auch soweit schön wie also anderes als die Niederfrequenz. Also es ist zumindest nicht physiologischer schlechter als die Niederfrequenz. Also so viel kann man dann dazu sagen. Ne? Wie gesagt, es gibt auch in der Literatur den Begriff quasi physiologisch. Und quasi physiologisch bedeutet also physiologischer oder physiologisch ähnlicher. Das heißt, so ähnlich wie der Körper arbeitet im Grunde.
Yeah. So middle frequency is in connection with the term quasi physiologically, which means nothing else than our human body is electrophysical, like obstruct, or our whole body functions through electrophysiology, right? I mean, this is like basic electrophysiology. Like I explain it all the time. The brain gives an action potential, and you know, like, and that's how a muscle contraction is achieved. So it doesn't matter if you're working with middle frequency or you're working with a low frequency. It both is very close to the body function itself. So that's why there's like when you follow guidelines, that's very important. You need to understand that, you know, what you're doing, and you also need to understand the whole application of it. You need to be certified, you need to really understand it. But when you know what you're doing, and when you understand what's the goal, and when you understand all the parameters that you're using, then there is no harm for the body, because it's not something that is foreign for the body itself. It's not something that the body, it's a completely new function for the body, because the body works like that itself.
Ja, also das ist so ein bisschen mehr oder weniger die Erklärung. Man konnte ja auch in die Tiefe gehen, aber dafür müsste man dann sich wirklich so mit Literaturangaben und Quellen und so beschäftigen. Ja, das ist, glaube ich, sprengt so ein bisschen den Rahmen jetzt hier. Gerne können wir dann Informationen nachholen. Also kein Thema. Ja.
So Fernando just said, obviously there's so much. I mean, this is like a topic that goes really much in depth. I'm also want to say that we're going to share literature, right, Fernando? There's literature available, studies available that we're also going to share with you guys. But obviously we have like an hour for this live call, so we cannot go too much into depth about it. It was more about really explaining the main difference between EMS and EMA and understanding it. But please feel free if you want to have more resources where we can find literature about all that. And we definitely make sure that we answer all the questions, even like follow up on the call and providing you resources and literatures for that. So we have more questions from Natalie. Is the company working on FDA clearance for EMA application and their equipment? Fernando, seid ihr an dem Thema
Ja.
USA und FDA dran?
Ja, also wir sind sehr interessiert an dem Thema. Tatsächlich haben wir die ein oder andere Anfrage gestartet also mit Unternehmen aus den USA. Tatsächlich haben wir noch nicht damit angefangen, weil wir noch nicht den richtigen Partner, was das angeht, gefunden haben. Also wir haben ein sehr großes Interesse an den internationalen Markt. Also wir verkaufen jetzt oder vertreiben jetzt relativ stabil in Deutschland und in den deutschsprachigen Raum. Haben wir auch vereinzelt Studios in Europa und auch quasi in der Welt dann verteilt. Aber in den USA haben wir durch die FDA noch keine richtige, also noch kein Vertrieb direkt.
To answer your question, Natalie, we're very interested in the US market. Currently, to sum it up, we haven't found the right partner. We need a partner for the US market in order to enter. We are really interested, but we haven't started the FDA yet. We had some conversations with certain companies in the USA, but so far nothing concrete. So we're still looking for the right partner for the USA in order to start the FDA and go and approach the market.
Wir haben, also wir sind eine relativ kleine Firma, ne? Und wir stecken mitten in eine Medizinproduktzulassung für Europa. Jetzt gerade drinnen mit alle unsere Produkte, die wir schon haben und unsere Entwicklungsprodukte, die wir noch auf den Markt bringen wollen. So, das kostet uns aktuell sehr viel Manpower, also sehr viel Ressourcen. Und deswegen sind wir so für jetzt vielleicht nicht falsch verstehen, extrem komplizierte Märkte wie der USA an Partner angewiesen. Ja?
So currently we are in the medical clearance. It's a specific medical clearance for the European market that takes really takes a lot of manpower from our side, and that's another reason why we really want to approach such a huge and important market like the USA with the right partner. But we would need like partnering up with someone over there. I have another question here. How much better does EMA produce hypertrophy than EMS? Also wie viel besser kann man Hypertrophie-Ergebnisse mit EMA erzielen als mit Elektromuskelstimulation?
Damit konnten wir die nächsten 10 Stunden bis eine Woche eigentlich komplett kriegen. Also ich kann da konkret also keine Daten geben. Also jede Im Trainer weiß, dass Hypertrophie von vielen Faktoren abhängig ist. Und die können wir jetzt alle mit einem System nicht beeinflussen. Also wir können zum Beispiel die Ernährung, die Schlafgewohnheiten, die können wir alle nicht mit einem System dann beeinflussen, zum Beispiel. Ne? Ja. Mhm.
So Fernando's answer to that is like, we could stay on that call for another 10 hours talking about this. To sum it up, there's a lot of parameters that plays a significant role in producing like results, especially in hypertrophy. And as there's a lot of like personal trainers and experts here on that call, obviously training is not the only factor to getting results. We all know that sleep, stress, nutrition, huge one. So that's why I can't really give like an answer here. We like the benefits that EMA brought. We already discussed that in the beginning of the call. Why EMA has benefits to hypertrophy training, but I can't say how much because that is really depending on each single case. Then another question is, how does it compare with strength training with weights? Wie vergleichbar ist EMA mit Krafttraining mit Gewichten?
Ja, also auch hier ist die Frage ein bisschen kompliziert zu beantworten, weil ich konnte jetzt 15 Minuten lang mit Gewichte dann trainieren und ich konnte dann 30 Minuten lang mit EMA trainieren. Also genau, also effektiv, also am effektivsten zeigen die meisten Studien, ist eine Mischung aus EMA oder EMS mit dynamischen Übungen. Wenn wir aber davon ausgehen, dass wir hier direkt an die Muskulatur rangehen können und deutlich weniger neuronale Fatigue erzeugen, dann sprechen wir wirklich von einer erheblichen Muskelwirkung, also eine erhebliche Hypertrophie, Zuwachs, wenn man das EMA-System in irgendeiner Form nutzt, also entweder als Ergänzung für ein Hanteltraining, ja, dazu, oder als reine EMA-Training mit dynamisch oder weniger dynamisch Übungen.
Yes. So our experience has shown that any form of adding, and it doesn't mean to replace it, but any form of adding electromuscle activation, electromuscle stimulation, and specifically the experience and training functional and dynamically with that has shown just to have like these great effects on the body. So you can also like, and it's not, I think it's not either or. So you can also like do it with certain dumbbells and weights. So you're not restricted in any form. I hope that answers the question.
Sorry, ich wollte dann auf die Frage dann noch mal kurz reingehen. Und zwar, also meine persönliche Erfahrung ist, also ich habe schon mit sehr untrainierten Menschen trainiert, denn es wirklich das reine EMA und auch noch statisch sehr viel gebracht hat. Ich habe aber auch mit Leistungssportler trainiert, die EMA als Ergänzung zu deren jeweiligen Sport.
I can't hear you, Fernando. I don't know why. Fernando, I can't hear you. I don't know why. Let me see what happened. Yeah, you're yellow. Fernando, sag was?
Ich kann dich hören.
Yeah,
Alles perfekt.
Yeah,
Okay?
maybe there was a connection. I'm just going to translate that quick. The last thing I heard. So his experience is like, I've trained someone really unexperienced, someone not really like experienced in training, just started with EMA static and had great results. The same with someone already really experienced, someone like an athlete, and then adding it to it is always like improving the results, improving the muscle strength, etc.
Was genau wen was bringt, da müssen wir schauen, welches Zustand, also in welchen Zustand bekommen wir den Trainierenden im Grunde und was sind denn seine Ziele. Ne? Dafür sind wir ja die Trainer. In jedem Fall ist EMA eine richtig effektive Waffe, wenn man sie gut einsetzt, wenn man sie richtig einsetzt.
Yes. So therefore we are like coaches and we need to be educated about it. That depends on the certain goal someone has to, you know, like understand like what kind of training we're providing, which kind of program we're using, what kind of parameters, what kind of cycles, reps, sets, all the things, adding things to it. I mean, that is very individual. But yeah, definitely the answer is definitely yes, we do. But that's too individual to give like a straight like standard answer to that. Okay.
Also wir haben sowohl bei total Untrainierte als auch bei Bodybuilder neue Impulse eingesetzt.
Yeah. So someone completely new, like no training experience, and someone like bodybuilder state used it and created like great results with that. Okay, I have a question. I have a question for you, Fernando. I'm just gonna open my sheet here. I had a question towards the pelvic floor because you were like saying this. So as some of you know, I'm in the field also like 13, I don't even know, 14 years by now. And I have also like been lecturing new trainers in the field of electromuscle stimulation in low frequency. And I have been always told about the great studies when it came to the pelvic floor. And I've been told, you know, like there's definitely a benefit to it. And I learned today for the first time when you said, yeah, I mean, you actually have to go really trigger, you know, like the vaginal muscle cell and the anal muscle cell in order to really being able to strengthen the pelvic floor. So now I'm like, so what about these studies then that I found before and that I even would teach people on electromuscle stimulation? Are they wrong? Or what is your take on that? And to translate that, Fernando, wenn du darüber gesprochen hattest, habe ich einfach nur gerade gedacht, wow, ich habe diese ganzen niederfrequenten Studien selber Trainern beigebracht, wovon wirklich tollen Ergebnissen berichtet wurde im Beckenbodentraining. Und jetzt sagst du gerade, naja, wir wissen ehrlich gesagt, dass das nicht so viel bringt, wenn man müsste wirklich über die analen oder vaginalen Muskeln direkt gehen, um da überhaupt ein Ergebnis zu erzeugen. Und jetzt möchte ich einfach nur wissen, okay, habe ich jetzt die ganzen Jahre irgendwie was Falsches geglaubt, was Falsches Leuten beigebracht?
Ja. Nein, hast du tatsächlich nicht. Also letztendlich ist es für den Beckenboden, also den Beckenboden mit konventionellen Mitteln zu trainieren, an den ranzukommen, ist schwer. Also da ist EMS eine Form, also eine Stimulationsform, und an den Beckenboden reinzugehen. Es gibt noch bestimmte Anteile, die du von außen, also mit einer äußeren Stimulation, ganz schwer erreichen kannst. So, das heißt, es gibt ein paar moderne Studien und es gibt ein paar führende Gynäkologen. Ich glaube, ein Buch habe ich sogar hier bei mir, den ich jetzt gerade lese, die die Stimulation auf Basis von Mittelfrequenzen deutlich effektiver beschreiben als die Stimulation über Niederfrequenz. Aber am Ende von wie tief ist das Leiden, was für genaue Probleme ich da habe. Ne? Und zum Beispiel bei Niederfrequenz ist die Positionierung der Elektroden auch sehr wichtig in dem Fall. So, bei der Mittelfrequenz ist die Positionierung der Elektroden nicht mehr so wichtig, sondern wie die Elektroden miteinander spielen, und dann können die von außen viel einfacher den Beckenboden stimulieren,
Okay,
sage ich jetzt mal.
let me translate that before it gets like a lot of information. So in general, yes, you can stimulate the pelvic floor, obviously. The problem is that to stimulate it from outside, as we do it in actually electromuscle stimulation and in low frequency, a huge role plays where the electrodes are placed. Where in EMA, it doesn't matter where it's even placed because we're reaching such depth of cells. And that's one takeaway. And it's just like in general through like the literature that we have gathered and that we have also like learned is that we have just better results with EMA than we are able to reach with electromuscle stimulation, just because of the fact that, for example, the pelvic floor is a muscle cell, or like it's obviously a muscle construct. It holds like, it's like a net that holds our whole core together. And we all know, I think so, that we all know how important it is. I know because I'm a mom, so I know how important the pelvic floor is. But like it's really about that it's very hard to stimulate the pelvic floor from any outside like resources. But we just said it's not that EMS is not working. It does work. It's just we have way better effects and better results with EMA because through the middle frequency we go deeper into the tissue. Okay, thank you, Fernando.
Also da gibt es ja auch so ein paar Studien und ein paar Publikationen, das konnte ich dir auch zukommen lassen, beziehungsweise die Interesse dann dran hätten. Ja?
Okay, so Fernando says like anyone who has interest in reading more, he's going to provide the studies and publications talking about this more in depth. Okay, my friends, it is 11:51 here. I want to be mindful of everyone's time, but I also made a claim and a promise in the beginning of this call that I said we have something that we also want to like talk about here, which could be interesting for anyone have listened to us and have been on this live call, and that is that Fernando and his amazing team from Kraftwunder that are starting this exciting journey, really doing something really bold, what I think, and going into this this field of EMA, are ready for expansion. And anyone who's here today and thinks, man, I'm really ready for the next level EMS. And I don't know what that exactly means. We just want to reveal here that Kraftwunder is a company that is an expansion, is looking for new markets, is looking for partners, is looking for salespeople, anyone who are willing to spread the word, who's willing to conquer a new market so that we get the like amazing tool of EMA out there. So that is like the big reveal. So if you're here today and you're like, man, I haven't heard about it, I need to learn more about it, but I'm also like really interested, please reach out to me. We're gonna definitely pre-qualify the applications, but you definitely are here because you have an opportunity here to help grow the market. And no matter where you at in your career and what you're doing with your current like EMS/EMA career, there is an opportunity to grow this market. So we are really excited for you guys to give us your feedback, to come back to us, tell us what's on your mind. And if you have any ideas, no matter how small they are, please let's build this community together so that we can really grow like a better market for this subject and can help so many people out there. Because in the end of the day, we're all here, I believe, because we have a passion of bringing benefits to people's, whatever it's pelvic floor or it's athletes, like in all the niches that we have, like different niches that we're working on. But just know that this is your platform here, where you can reach out and ask whatever you need. And we're going to make sure that we're going to connect. We're going to make sure that we're going to give you the resources. We're going to give you the literature. And also we're going to connect you if this is something that you're excited about. Sounds good, everyone? Yeah. Excited. Awesome. So we have still, I don't know, maybe time for one last question. So if there's anyone, let me check my questions. I had so many more questions, but I was like, okay, maybe this is also like the opportunity for another call. But yeah, just if there's anyone who has like one question, or I don't know, Fernando, if there's something from your side you wanted to add before we are ending this call.
Ja, also letztendlich möchte ich mich bei euch allen bedanken, ne, dass ihr dann hier seid. Also vielen Dank für eure Aufmerksamkeit. Ich möchte sagen auch noch, dass Kraftwunder andere Produkte auch arbeitet, also an neuen Produkten, an neuen Elektroden, an neuen Arten der Stimulation. Und ja, das wäre schön, wenn der ein oder andere diesen Weg mit uns dann beschreitet.
Yeah, so first of all, I want to thank everyone for being here today. Thank you for taking time. I really appreciate it. And also, I want to just share, maybe as a last note, that we as Kraftwunder are developing also more than right now these suits. There's a lot of exciting new technologies in terms of suits coming. And yeah, I'm really keen on building new relationships here, like to connect with some new people in the market. And yeah, we are open to build these relationships in order to grow. Awesome. Fernando, one question. Eine Frage. Kann ich was erwähnen über über eure Hose mit EMA und euren Trockenanzug oder lieber nicht?
Ja, klar, wieso nicht?
Okay. So just as a last
Also ist alles in Entwicklung.
Yeah. So as a last note, like just if you're asking, okay, what is the things that they are developing? So we don't want to leave you with a big question mark. So Natalie knows the I-shape pants that iMotion has. So Kraftwunder is currently developing an I-shape pants, but with EMA. And they're also developing currently EMA dry suits so that you don't have to wet them anymore. So he sent me some pictures, very exciting. I'm super excited about that. So these are the things that are coming: dry suits, EMA and EMS, I-shape pants with EMA. So we have what we just discussed today. I think that's why you also like choose to talk quick about the pelvic floor, but where we gonna get these amazing results when it comes to pelvic floor approach and all this stuff. So they are really working hard. I know like Fernando is super busy currently because of the medical clearance and of the development of these equipment. And I can tell you one thing, and that's why I also was so excited to host this call today, is that there's no one else. There's no one else right now in that development stage to produce not only high-end suits with their comfort and the easiness of like the apps that they have, and also the suits are super light. But in combination to do that with EMA, I don't know anyone else in the market, and that's why thank you everyone for being here today. It's 11:57. I'm like my German heart is jumping. We made it on time. Want to be mindful of everyone's time. Like reach out after this. Share the link. We're gonna have this call. We recorded this call, so we're gonna also share this on social media and on YouTube, so you can spread that with other people when they're like, "What is EMA? I want to understand the basics," so people can listen to this. I hope the translation was not too bad. I tried my best. Thank you, Fernando, for all these insights. I also received another message here. Thank you from Natalie. Thank you. Good to hear about new developments. Looking forward to try it out. Somewhere halfway from Zagreb, Croatia is here. So yeah, thank you, everyone. And with that, have everyone an amazing day, and go and train some EMA and go and train some EMS.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.